Cowboys took down the Seahawks on Saturday. With Dallas moving on to the divisional round, there's only one thing for Cowboys fans to do. They need to dance like everyone on the internet is watching.
Get it, big fella. All right, so C, I know this won't shock you. This weekend, I made an appearance at the Red Rooster. Our great statistician, Dusty, showed up. And that's what Dusty was doing on the dance floor, man. Challenging folks in Harlem to dance off.
No. In all
busting moves.
You may not think it's great dancing, but the moves that his intentional dance moves are playing out. They're all coming to fruition. Like, he's doing what
I don't think that was great dancing or great talking right there. Go ahead, Chris Carter.
That's good dancing.
In your world, yes. Get him a contract. Yeah, in your world, yeah. But Jenna, you don't know a whole bunch of good dancers, though.
No. I don't know good dancers. I do know good dancing.
Not if you think that's it. Not if you think that's it. But I'm happy for the guy's confidence. Yes. I thought that's what you were going to say. That he's got confidence with him. Look at him move.
I'm saying the moves he intended to put forth are the ones that he ended up doing.
I'm saying you should stop talking.
Okay.
Back to the Eagles. Taking on the Bears last night. Let's go to the highlight. Philly down 5.
All right.
Jenna, you got it?
That is the case that the Philadelphia Eagles found themselves
Didn't
down
you used to
5
be a dancer when you were
less than
growing
2
up?
minutes ago. Never was a dancer. Gymnast. Foles to Alshon Jeffrey takes it down to the 2. 3 plays later. 4th down, Foles to Golden Tate in the end zone. Kind of justified that trade there. But Eagles up 1. Bears weren't done yet. Mitch Trubisky to Allen Robinson. This gets the ball down to the 35. Bears would set up a 43-yard field goal attempt for Cody Parkey. And Parkey, who had just made this right before when Doug Peterson tried to ice him, misses it. Misses it for the 6th time this season. It hits the posts. It is heartbreak in Chicago this morning as the Eagles escape with a 16-15 win. Philly will now face the Saints next week. Here is the kicker, Cody Parkey, on that season-ending miss.
That's the worst, one of the worst feelings in the world to let your team down. So I feel terrible. You know, I'm gonna continue to put things in perspective. Continue to just put my best foot forward and just sleep at night knowing that I did everything in my power this week to go and make that kick. And for whatever reason, at the crossbar and the upright, and I still couldn't do it. So yeah, I feel terrible.
I draw my strength from, you know, those guys in the huddle. Just look in their eyes, the belief they have, not only in me but in one another, and knowing that, you know, this was a crazy game. There's a lot of adversity. I mean, this is one of the most hostile environments I've played in. You know, their fans came out, and, you know, we still had a lot of support here too, but it was, you know, I'll sleep well tonight for sure.
CeCe, was there any part of this game that surprised you, even the outcome?
I thought with Chicago, if they created the number of turnovers that they did, they pick off Nick Foles 2 times, they win the game. If you told me before the game, hey, they got a couple picks, oh, no, that means the Bears would win. The Eagles are only going to score 16 points. Oh, that means the Bears are definitely going to win. I knew it was going to be unseasonably warm, so I thought the offenses would be able to function better. But given those things, the turnovers and the 16 points on a beautiful January Sunday day in Chicago, man, that was surprising to me, that the Eagles could win the style of game that I thought only the Bears could win.
And by the way, the Bears hadn't lost a game like that all year. Forget the fact that they were, I mean, teams, Adam Schefter tweeted this out, home teams in the playoffs that were +2 in the turnover battle, I think 112-4 going into yesterday's game, and the Bears lose that game. The Bears undefeated on the season when holding a team under 24. They held the Eagles under 17, and they lose the game. The Bears had opportunities now. They had 3 red zone trips that ended in field goals. Yep. They had a touchdown late that could have put them up 7, but they I don't know if you want to say botch. They don't convert the 2-point conversion. They have Khalil Mack on the field. You
just prefer a different play.
I just think, here's my thing. I know all year long they've done fancy 2-point conversions. By fancy, I mean they brought on defensive linemen. They've had extra offensive linemen. They've declared offensive linemen eligible. It's your biggest play of the season. The difference between being up 5 and being up 7, as we saw, can be the difference between a win and a loss. It's hard for me to believe that my best play in my playbook to get 2 yards involves Khalil Mack on the field. It's just hard for me to believe that.
Isn't that kind of what helped them get there?
Yes,
all those
it is.
kind of plays, that kind of aggressive play calling?
And that's what becomes hard for a coach that He didn't have a style. We didn't know who Nagy was, okay? But what he has done is he's put defensive players in, and he's put other offensive play in different offensive positions. So the Khalil Mack, Chris Collinsworth did a great job of saying, I believe Khalil Mack, he's in the huddle. He will be an absolute decoy. So they brought him in motion. Then they run him in a ghost motion, send him all the way outside. It's all just window dressing for the defense. But what happened was that offensive line, they got beat up front. So it was a good play call if they blocked Fletcher Cox in that defensive front.
And by the way, up front, Fletcher Cox coming off Defensive Player of the Week in the NFL or in the NFC in Week 17. He was even better this week, even though he didn't have the 3 sacks he had in Week 17. The Eagles' defense played great. Their offensive line, Jason Peters shutting down Khalil Mack and continuing a trend of Aaron Donald, J.J. Watt, DeMarcus Lawrence, Khalil Mack have all played.
The last 7 games, they've been amazing.
They've been amazing. They against those 5 guys plus Ryan Kerrigan, they've played them in 7 games. They've allowed 1 sack. So, like, everyone's playing better for Philly, and I give them tremendous credit. What you asked, was I surprised? I was definitely surprised. I thought the Bears would win. But when they were lining up for the field goal, I thought it was a coin flip proposition. Cody Parkey, no one in the NFL missed more kicks than he did this year. They weren't all off the upright, but a lot of them were. And so Doug Peterson, I mean, he rolled 7s. If he doesn't call that timeout, the Bears win. He did call the timeout. They get a little, it looked like
and
a slight.
And he called it right at the last second.
Yeah, a slight tip on the field goal. And that seemed to be the difference. If that thing bounces just an inch further on the crossbar, it goes upright crossbar through instead of upright crossbar out.
All right, listen, at the beginning of the season, if I said, oh, how do you think number 9 did? You'd have to look up and say, who's number 9? Well, number 9, Nick Foles, he may not have had a great game yesterday, but somehow the rest of his teammates played great with him under center. What do you think the lure, or whatever it is, with Nick Foles has really sort of helped carry this team?
I'm going to let everyone else give the quarterback too much credit. And also, I get off of that when they give the quarterback too much blame. This is a football team. Special teams, they played great. They got the deflection there at the end. Defense was amazing. They took the Bears out of what they wanted to do, eliminated their big plays, especially until late in the game. So they supported their quarterback. He just happens to be the quarterback because after 2 interceptions, losing the turnover margin the way they did, you don't expect them to be able to win the game. So this was not Nick Foles' magic carpet ride to carry the Eagles through.
Well,